Wemby balled out on Christmas Day. However, it wasn't enough as the Spurs fall short of ruining the Knicks' Christmas, losing in a tough but exciting game, 114 to 117. It was Wemby's first Christmas Day game, and it did not disappoint. He showed why he's the future face of this league with an impressive 42-point night. We'll get into his impressive game, what went wrong, and look forward to what's next for the Spurs. What's good, Spurs Digest family, and happy holiday. Merry Christmas to all those who celebrate. We appreciate y'all checking in with us. We know it was a tough loss, but man, what a game it was, and that's what you come to expect from these Christmas Day games. You expect excitement, and I know that's what y'all have come to expect here at Spurs Digest. So if you haven't yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the doorbell so you're notified every time we make a video. We even dropping videos for y'all on Christmas Day. That's how dedicated we are to y'all, and that's how much we love watching the Spurs do their thing. And if you watch the Spurs pregame, I talked about how big of a game this would be for Wemby. His first Christmas game. We all know what those Christmas Day games are like for NBA fans, right? Like watching LeBron for the Heat, catching lobs off the backboard, watching Kobe Bryant get crazy for Christmas Day. We remember those big moments on Christmas Day. And now Wemby is going to be making his own memories for fans for years to come, because this is just the first, but you know there is going to be many. But when you know all of these things around the Christmas game, that's a big, big stage. Let alone going into MSG, one of the biggest basketball meccas in the NBA. That is a huge stage. But one thing we've come to learn from Victor Wembanyama is when the stage is big, when the lights are brightest, he shows up and shows out. And that's what he did tonight for our Spurs. He was a man amongst boys, dropping 42 points. 42 points for the Spurs. Man, what a Christmas Day debut for the young fella. He added 18 rebounds, 4 blocks, 4 assists, shot over 50%. What more can you ask for? And honestly, when you say all of those things, it's honestly surprising to think that they actually lost this game. Now remember, the Knicks are a very, very good team. We talked about that on the pregame as well. This was going to be a battle. However, instead of focusing on the loss, I feel like you got to give a guy like Wemby his flowers. You got to show him love for what he was able to do tonight on a huge stage, and it makes you optimistic for the future. Now, there are things that didn't go right that we can talk about in a little bit, but I feel like we had to take the time to talk about this game that Wemby had, because, again, we have seen so many number one picks. We've seen so many top prospects, so many guys come into this league and shy away from these big moments, fold when the lights are the brightest. But we really have not seen that from Wemby yet. If anything, we see the exact opposite. He shows up, he balls out when it's time to compete, when it's time to be under the microscope. All eyes were on him. He was the first game of the day. You don't think he knew that? You don't think he knew that everybody would be turning on the TV to watch Wemby right after opening their presents, right after getting home from church? He knew that, and he made sure to give the fans a show. That's what you see from the greats. That's what you see from the best of the best. That's what you saw from Michael Jordan. He put on a show when it was time to put on a show. That's what made him a fan favorite. Kobe Bryant put on a show when it was time to put on a show, and that is what Wemby did. No, it did not result in a win, but think about this. This is the worst we're going to see of him, right? He's only going to keep getting better. Next Christmas, he's going to be a whole nother player, a whole better player. He's going to have a different looking team. This team is going to have advanced and grown because they are so young. So you're going to see these high performances turn into wins. I promise you that. But the fact that you have a player that is capable of being able to show up when all eyes are on him, to me, it speaks volumes about what this kid is about, what Wemby is about. And I mean, he is just such a special player for these Spurs. So I wanted to give love to him first because, of course, a win would have been nice on Christmas Day. However, it's hard to be too upset when you lose by 2 points in the final seconds to a really, really good Eastern Conference team at home on the road. It's a rough situation to be in for the Spurs being on the road, but I was very, very impressed with what I saw from Wemby. But it still was a loss, and we got to get into it and we got to talk about it. We have to discuss these turnovers because, again, it was something we talked about in the pregame show. It was something we saw in their last game that they struggled with. You have to take care of the basketball. 15 turnovers in this game for the Spurs. The Knicks only had 5. 15 of those turnovers came from their starters. You cannot have that happen. And not only that, they gave up 21 points off of those turnovers. That is just not things you want to see from a good team. That's not things you come to expect from a good team. And it just is, the Spurs will not be able to get over these humps, get over these, get past these really, really good playoff teams until they're able to clean up the play. The turnovers are getting rough. It was really, really rough today. And to me, you get a few less of those turnovers, this game's won. You know what I mean? And the Knicks ball, the Knicks had a great game, but the Spurs also had a great game. Their best player had a great game. The bench was a little rough for both teams. Our bench didn't give us what it normally gives us. However, the game was ours to win. And I'm telling you, if you just clean up these little mistakes, these mental errors that young teams make, right? That a team that hasn't played a lot of minutes together either, right? There's been a lot of injuries with this team. Mistakes are going to happen. And I also think that with time, those mistakes are going to clear up. These are things that are easily fixable and things that I know can be fixed. This is one of the best coaching staffs in the NBA. They're going to be able to fix those things. So that's why I'm not over here too sad. Yes, it's frustrating because the game was winnable. The game was very winnable, and we'll close with that in a second. But I'm not too pessimistic about the future. I'm very optimistic. I really think that you are seeing something special happening right now, and Wemby is the focal point of that, man. I was so impressed with what he was able to do today. But again, even he has to clean up on the turnovers. Everybody has to clean up on the turnovers if you want to win. And just the last thought for me, the last thought I have on this, and because I don't want to harp on it too much, you know what I mean? It is Christmas Day, I want to eat some good food. But one thing I will say is this game was very, very winnable at the end. You cannot allow a team to get multiple offensive rebounds to close out a game. The Spurs had multiple chances to get a rebound and go get a timeout, get the ball advanced, and make a play and win this game. Or tie the game, right, and take it to overtime. How exciting would that have been? But those little small lapses, because I don't think it happens often for the Spurs. I don't think it's their identity. But it is something that you're going to see, and it's something you're going to see from a young team trying to figure it out. But those little mental lapses that these Spurs have, especially in these type moments, if they're able to clean that up, man, this is going to be a scary team. It's already a scary team. The Knicks were nervous, man. Knicks fans were nervous. They almost lost at home on Christmas Day. You know what I mean? And a lot of that had to do with my guy Wemby. But I'm telling you, man, that is the part that I think does get frustrating. When you see chances to get a rebound, get a chance to tie the game or get the lead, and you let multiple chances go. You don't capitalize on that. You don't box out. You don't chase after the ball. Those things are so frustrating. I understand Spurs fans being frustrated with that. However, got to turn the page. There's more games to be played, and now the Spurs get to look at the Brooklyn Nets, a team that's struggling, a team that I think's lost 4 of their last 5. This Knicks team was on a winning streak. Let's not get that wrong. Now it's on 5, but before it was a 4-game winning streak coming into this game. So now you're going against a team that's a beatable team. Get back on that win column, get another win and move forward. I think that's what this team's going to do. But I think Spurs fans should be excited, should be happy about what they saw from their young fella, man. That is a big stage. That is a tough stage to play on. That's a lot of eyes, especially for a guy like Wemby. Not anybody since LeBron James has the eyes on him like Wemby does. He's playing for really a whole country on his back. And so, man, it was so impressive to see that. It was so great to see Wemby show up like I knew he would. I knew this stage would be perfect for him. And he loves playing at MSG. But now it's time to move forward. There's plenty of things to build off of, and now you can go play a very beatable Nets team right now. I think there's a lot of good things to look for in the Spurs, and I'm excited to keep on, doing these shows with you guys, Spurs Digest family. We appreciate y'all. Remember to subscribe. Remember to share. Remember to comment. Let us know how you're feeling. Am I being too optimistic? I'm an optimistic cat, but really it's hard to be upset when your star player goes off like that on a huge stage, man, at MSG, man. Those are moments, those are moments like when Jordan and Kobe and Bron do things like that. We talk about those 10 years later, that's going to be on a highlight. Oh, 10 years ago, Wemby did this. Like that's going to be happening because he's going to continue to be on Christmas Day games. He ain't going nowhere. He's going to be on those Christmas Day games. So let me know if I'm being too optimistic. Let me know how y'all feeling about this loss. Let me know how y'all feeling about the Brooklyn Nets. They're coming up in a couple days, I believe the 27th. And yeah, there's more basketball to be played, man. The Spurs, wow, man, they're a tough team. I know teams do not want to play them. I know teams are scared of them. I would be for sure, especially with Wemby, the way he just covers so much ground on both ends of the ball, man. But Spurs Digest family, I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to eat some good food. I'm going to go enjoy my Christmas. I hope y'all have enjoyed y'all Christmas. Hope y'all have an amazing holiday with y'all family full of love. We appreciate y'all always showing love and being there for us. For Brian Colbert on Spurs Digest, this is our post-game show. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.